So how long should you be outside? Well, this is going to vary tremendously because some people live in environments where it's very bright. So let's say it's Colorado in the middle of winter. There's a snow field. There's no cloud cover, and you walk outside. There's going to be so much photon light energy arriving on your retina that it probably only takes 30 to 60 seconds to trigger the central clock and set your cortisol and melatonin rhythms properly and get everything lined up nicely. Even if there's a lot of dense cloud cover, you're probably getting anywhere from 10,000 to 50,000 lux, L-U-X, which is just a measure of light energy. And that should be sufficient to set the circadian clock. You could say, well, the lights in my house or my phone are really, really bright, right? Everyone's telling us to stay off our phones at night because they're really bright. But guess what? It turns out that early in the day, your retina is not very sensitive, which means you need a lot of photons, ideally coming from sunlight, to set these clock mechanisms. If you can't see sunlight because of your environment, then you are going to have to opt for artificial light. And in that case, you're going to want an artificial light that either simulates sunlight or has a lot of blue light. Blue light is great for this mechanism during the day. We can talk about blue light and blue blockers, but you really want a lot of blue and yellow light arriving on the retina early in the day. Let me be clear about something. You never, ever want to look at any light, sunlight or artificial light, that is painful to look at. If you find that your eyes are watering or you're having challenges maintaining, looking at this thing for a while because it's painful, that light is too bright and you do not want to damage your retina. So you don't want to gaze at the sun, refusing to blink and burn your retina. That's actually possible to do. You don't want to do that. But blue light, in particular blue light and yellow light coming from sunlight, is ideal. If you're going to get it from artificial light because you can't get enough sunlight, well then artificial lights that are rich in blue wavelengths are going to be ideal for setting this mechanism. A lot of people will say, I should be wearing blue blockers throughout the day. No, that's the exact wrong thing. If you're going to use blue blockers, we can talk about that. That should be reserved for late in the evening because light suppresses melatonin. Sunlight inhibits the pineal. It prevents it from releasing melatonin. Darkness allows the pineal to release melatonin. So the pineal is not the gland or the organ of sunlight. It is the gland of darkness. In fact, melatonin can be thought of as a sleepiness signal that's correlated with darkness. What kinds of artificial lights will work? Well, there are these sunrise simulators, but the ring lights that people use for selfies and this sort of thing, for posting on Instagram, those generate a lot of blue light. If you want to get experimental about this, there's a free app. I have no relationship to the app, but it's a great app called Light Meter that you can use your phone and you can measure the amount of photon energy in your environment. And it's kind of a fun experiment to do. You can go outside in the morning and you'll see that there's 10,000, 20,000 lux, even though it might seem like it's kind of dim or there's tree cover or cloud cover. You go inside and you shine that an artificial light at your phone, press the button on Light Meter, and you'll find that it's only 500 or 1,000 lux. And you realize that even though it seems really bright, the artificial light is very condensed, whereas the outside light is scattered in the atmosphere. And so you can think that you're not getting much sunlight, but you're actually getting much more outside. These systems in the body, these hormone systems and neurotransmitter systems that make you awake at certain periods of the day and sleepy at other times are operating by averaging when you view the brightest light. Now, that can immediately tell us that what most people are doing is terrible. They're waking up and they're looking at their phone, which isn't triggering activation of these cells in the eye and the central circadian clock. Then a few hours later, they might get in their car with sunglasses and drive. So if you need to wear sunglasses for safety reasons, wear them. Absolutely, if you wear prescription lenses or contacts, wear them. They won't filter out the wavelengths of light that are necessary for setting these central clocks. So safety first, of course. If you have a retinal degenerative disorder, retinitis pigmentosa, macular degeneration, or glaucoma, or those run in your family, you want to avoid excessively bright light all the time. You want to be very cautious about that. You're going to want to get your light exposure through seeing dimmer light, including sunlight, but for longer periods of time, perhaps. You might immediately ask, what about low vision or blind people? How do they set these central clocks? Well, turns out that low vision and blind people, most of them, provided they still have eyes, that the eyes weren't removed because of a burn or tumor or something like that, still maintain these neurons that set the circadian clock. It's not about seeing and perceiving the sun. This is a subconscious mechanism by which these neurons, which are called melanopsin ganglion cells, these neurons set your central clocks by getting activated by the particular wavelengths of light that are present in the atmosphere, even coming through cloud cover, and You don't need to see or perceive the sun in order to get this mechanism to start.
Annotated and summarized. Easy to share with loved ones. The description below the title for this video has these summary points.